What's up, LinkedIn? It's a very post-inbound vibe. How's everybody doing out there in LinkedIn land? Gotta get on the Discord. I think that worked. Oof. Let's let everybody know we're out here. If you're here, say what up in the chat. How was everybody's inbound? Did you stop by the van and get a free frozen treat? We worked hard to get you those. How do I share this? Oh, LinkedIn, you make it so difficult. Live for a very very chill. Happy live for a post inbound, extremely chill, happily hour. Question mark? Who knows? We might go till 5. Lots to cover today. Big product updates. Big lead energy. Gonna figure it out on the fly. Scam likely? No, thank you. Don't want anything to do with that. Figure it out on the fly. Oh, I want to talk about goals today too. I literally just learned how to use those at inbound. I'm gonna try to figure it out also on the fly. What's up, everybody? On the fly. And we're gonna watch some videos too. Swing by. Say what up. Tell me about your inbound 23. Let's go. Swing by and tell me about your inbound 23. Also live on the Hapily YouTube channel. Of course, always ask me anything about the spot. And I'll do my best to help. All right, let's get after it. Post. Sweet. Let's get going. What a week. What a week last week it was. Hope everyone had a good time at inbound. I got to see a lot of faces that I've only seen through the LinkedIn sphere, which has been nice. Hope everyone is having a good week post inbound. I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit. Well, where do we even get started? I'll tell you a little bit. Well, actually, hold on. Word from our sponsors, of course. Got to get started with that. Let's see. What do we got? We have 2 sponsors today. Huge surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of the Hapily Hour is sponsored by no other than Hapily. huge surprise. But hey, if you guys don't know us, if you're unfamiliar with Hapily, if you didn't come by our booth last week at Inbound, you don't know what we do yet. We build apps on HubSpot. That's our entire ethos. That's our entire life. That's everything we do. We build apps that make HubSpot better in every way that you can imagine. Couple of honorable mentions here. Things you should know about. Still playing catch up. Need a vacation, Joe. I'm gonna try to do as much catch up for you as I can. But yeah, me too. I'm feeling the same way. It would be nice to just take a week off after Inbound, but no, everyone's got to capitalize on momentum and all this stuff. Anyway, guys, if you don't know about Hapily, Zebra, that's our beautiful, wonderful integration with Stripe. So if you're using Stripe and you're using HubSpot, get all that subscription and the transaction data into HubSpot so you can do a whole bunch of wonderful reporting, automation, segmentation. You can even take credit cards over the phone in HubSpot. Who else lets you do that? Nobody. Because it's very sensitive. We're also have a new app coming out soon called Orchestrate. This is event management native on HubSpot, right? So if you want to build out like a really cool CMS experience, kind of like that one that you saw on inbound.com where you've got like the speakers, the sessions, the sponsors, you want to do ticket sales, it's going to do everything. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You can register for the beta now. Orchestrate's coming in soon, hot and heavy. If you do events and you want to manage them on HubSpot, where you're already managing your marketing, sales, service, it just makes sense, right? Keep an eye out for Orchestrate. It's going to be super dope. We've also got a bunch of wonderful utility apps, such as Clone Attack, lets you clone CRM objects, lets you associate objects via workflows. Timer Man gives you a whole bunch of SLA functionality. TikTok Today gives you that today's date field inside of HubSpot that we all want so bad when we're doing those time between calculated fields. Don't forget about Real City. That is our integration with MLS systems. Allows you to build a Zillow-like website experience for your real estate company on HubSpot CMS. Please go check out Hapily, everybody. All of our apps are on the HubSpot app marketplace. We've got even more than this. We've got a customer service portal, super groups, whole bunch of cool stuff, and more to come. Second sponsor of the day, of course, is these hats that I sell. If you're looking for a wonderful present for your RevOps team or that RevOps pro in your life, and they need a battle helmet to go onto the Zoom battlefields and protect their brain. Got a lot of cool stuff here, ranging from RevOps Wizard, RevOps Goblin seems to be a crowd favorite. You got a whole bunch more. Of course, if you were that sales director looking for the perfect end of Q4, are we in Q4? Yeah, it's September. Looking for the perfect gift for your sales team, you gotta check out these closed one city hats. Definitely a huge boost to closing skills, discovery, +5 discovery, all kinds of great things that your sales team needs to be successful on the phones. We've also got the perfect set of head apparel for the RevOps god in your life, right? Let them know that you appreciate all the wonderful magic they accomplish. And of course, we got some wonderful, goofy memes for your head. If you followed any of my TikTok content, some of this might be familiar. Otherwise, you might think it's a little unhinged, and that's fine. So let's talk about Inbound. Also, guys, by the way, I do these as an opportunity to have conversations with folks about HubSpot, inbound marketing, inbound in general, right? So feel free at any time. If you throw a question in the chat, I will stop what I'm doing as best I can to answer it and give you any insight that I can. Hoping to start doing this show a lot more and turning it into more of like a big HubSpot community show. So if you guys have any cool ideas on how we can do that, I'm more than willing to hear them out, because I want to make a cool space for us all to come together, maybe a couple times a week, talk HubSpot, laugh a little, live a little, and grow better together. You know what I mean? Anyway, so let's talk about Inbound. Inbound was sick. It was my first one back after 2019. I would say was my last Inbound. It was also my first one not as a HubSpot employee, which was super interesting. Because usually, you know, when I go and watch the inbound keynotes and I see, you know, Andy here, in the past it was C Todd, and you know, all those folks give the product updates session. It's always super interesting because I'm sitting there just like, oh, I saw this stuff coming. I knew this was happening, you know, because I either see it internally or we had like betas or tests and stuff or whatever. But this year it was sick because everything that I saw up there, I had no idea it was coming. And it was like actually like really refreshing, and I could be excited at the keynote for the first time in a long time. You know, I wasn't just waiting on which dad joke Starmesh was going to make, which, you know, he always comes through. But it was great. Spent partner day trying to procure dry ice for these wonderful popsicles that our head of product Dax put together. If you were at Inbound or walking around the BCEC at any point, you may have seen a large man outside of a white van just yelling at everybody, asking if they want free popsicles. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you a little. I think we got a clip here. Let me see if I can find this. Desktop, right? There we go. Can I unmute this? Is this site muted? Yeah, unmute site. I gotta show you guys a funny video. Oh wait, hold on. Am I like live somewhere here? My audio is gonna double up. There we go. Get rid of that. Okay. All right. So here's a little funny story about handing out the ice cream. First of all, wait. I'll pause the music for a second. So let me. I had to do this. This is great.
By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless. And I want to heal as many people as the dear Lord lets me. And I make nothing.
All right. So a little story about it. So we got a ice cream van, and Dax went and hired this really cool company to go and make these like 3D molded flavored popsicles for the different apps we had. So we had like a zebra lime. What's up, Drew? We had a zebra lime. We had a orchestrate blueberry, which ended up being a lot more coconut forward than we expected. It was mostly just coconut. And then we had an associate cherry and a clone attack lemon. And they were actually like fire. Now, what's funny?
Zero.
Oh my goodness.
Zilch. By the time I pay all my scientists, all the people in my research department lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless. And I want to heal as many people as the dear Lord lets me.
All right, enough of that. What was funny is that I was out there. Here we go. Hold on.
Over here in front of the. What's up, guys? It's Max. I'm over here in front of the Omni. Yes. We're in the little parking alcove of the Omni. I'm here with Tony.
Now pause. I was out here with this dude for 3.5 hours, and we were passing out these free popsicles as much as the good Lord let us. And dude, I'll tell you, I don't think I've ever seen the look on humans' faces more scared or confused than when I was ambushing them as they walked around a corner, asking them if they wanted a free popsicle. Because most of these people were just like, no, you freak, I don't want a free popsicle out of your van. And it was like they were giving me this like bombastic side eye, this like really just the looks of disgust I was getting were just from people was just amazing. Anyway, it was, but also a lot of people said yes, and we had a lot of good fun with a lot of folks that popped by. Here's the problem. this guy, absolute legend. He was out there the entire time and doing a great job at like moving around the truck and getting everything, you know, all set, which is like crazy. I don't know how you drive one of these giant Mercedes Sprinter vans in the ridiculous traffic that he was in. Not a lot of good visibility in those things. Yeah, standing outside a windowless van, not sketchy. Definitely not sketchy. But we were out there for 3.5 hours passing around ice cream. I want you to listen to what I just said here in this video, right?
We're in the little parking alcove of the Omni. I'm here with Tony.
Okay. I was just with this man for 3 hours, okay? And I referred to this man as Tony because I swear on my life, when Dax introduced me to this fine gentleman, he said, "This is Tony. Tony knows the deal. Tony's got it locked down." So after, I'm never going to live this down. After we did the whole ice cream thing, it was awesome. Like we'd given out like 200 or so like ice creams by the time that, you know, his time was done with us and he had to take the truck elsewhere. He gave me a giant milk crate full of these popsicles, and I was standing in front of the BCEC at the exit, just screaming at people leaving the building, being like, "Yo, I've got free popsicles. I promise I'm not just a random person with free popsicles. We made popsicles that look like our app." It was the most awkward thing I've ever had to scream in my entire life, but I just wanted to make sure no one pepper sprayed me as I carried a milk carton of unlabeled, goofy looking popsicles at the front of the building. And, you know, we gave them all out and everything. And then we go back when the rest of the team's at the booth, and I go see Dax. I'm like, he's like, "How'd it go?" I was like, "I mean, it was awesome. We gave out a lot of popsicles. People really liked it. Some people thought it was like super weird. Took a milk crate. I was screaming at people in front of the BCEC to get more, come get popsicles from us." And I was like, "Yeah, man, Tony was great. He's the truth." Dax looks me dead in the eye. He goes, "Who's Tony?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, who's Tony, Dax?" Like, Tony, the guy you introduced me to. It's Tony, the guy driving the truck, helping us hand out all the ice cream. And he goes, "Yeah, his name's not Tony. His name's John." And I was like, "You're lying to me. His name's Tony. You said his name was Tony." And Dax pulls out his email. He goes, "I swear his name's John." And he pulls out his email and he brings up the email thread that this guy and Dax are having beforehand, like coordinating everything. Lo and behold, this man's name is John. It's not Tony. And I spent 3.5 hours. I must have I don't know if I was just like delusional because I didn't get enough sleep, or I was just thinking too much about dry ice, or I have no idea. I heard Dax say his name's Tony, and I just went with it. This dude has the biggest heart in the world because he straight up let me call him Tony multiple times for 3.5 hours during this like ridiculous moment that we shared together. So John, if you're out there, we love you. Thank you so much for lending us your truck and letting me call you Tony for 3.5 hours. And what's funny is you can kind of see him smirk in this video because he hears me call him Tony, and you can see him kind of smile and be like, that's not my name. I want to see if I can catch it here. I might be imagining this too, but I'm pretty sure he cracks a smile knowing that I just called him Tony instead of John.
Parking alcove of the Omni. I'm here with Tony. We've got
you can see him. You can see he's just like, that's not my name, idiot. Oh my God.
We've got some delicious iced popsicle treats here for you in the style of the Hapily apps. I'm gonna be hanging out over here. We're gonna be here till like 1, and then we're gonna be moving over there to the West End. Come get some free ice cream from our lovely ice cream van. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, anyway, his name's not Tony. His name is John. That was super fun. It was also just a completely unhinged experience, and yeah, it was great. So anyway, So what else happened? So we handed out ice cream. We spent a whole bunch of time on Thursday trying to grab as many interviews as we could for any Hapily partners that were there. Missed a bunch of people, which was a huge bummer, but I mean, you know, we only had so many slots that we could put in. But next year, Hapily partners, if I didn't get you for an interview this year, I'm gonna get you next year. And thank you for doing such a great job at Inbound. You guys were awesome. Huge shout out to Workflow, a Hapily partner that won the pitch competition. I knew there was like at least like 2 or 3 other ones in there too as well. So that's like super dope. Let me just check my thing here. Oh, weird. Lauren, you're showing as a LinkedIn user? I wonder if it's just that Restream doesn't, I don't know. That's strange. If you want to hang out and hop into the Discord and tell me like a little bit about your Inbound experience, that would be super tight. Whenever you want to. I know you're busy. But just Slack me when you're ready to come in. You should just be able to like click the voice channel on the left over on the Discord, and that'll just pop you right in there. Anyway, so what else? It was a crazy amount of like AI stuff, but we can like go into it. What I'm gonna do is there's a couple of videos I wanted to check out. One, oh, is that Lauren?
So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
What's up? How are you, Lauren?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Say hello to LinkedIn.
Hello, LinkedIn.
Lauren,
happy to talk about inbound experience.
Tell us about your inbound experience. How was it for you? I know you were very busy with the content. I was following along the entire time because I was spending a lot of time outside of the venue, finding dry ice, giving away popsicles, and doing interviews. Tell me about yours. It sounds like you actually got to experience a lot of the stuff.
I did. So I really think that you can go to inbound for the networking, or you can go to inbound for the content, and you like really can't do both. Mm-hmm. So I focused on the content this year. Last year I was in meetings the whole time, and this year I was like, no meetings. If you want to see me, you can see me for 10 minutes at lunch. I'm going to be in sessions. Yeah. So I went and did kind of like, I went to a session, did like a script during it. Afterwards I would leave and make a TikTok, send the content to my sister to like edit and publish. She works at Coastal Consulting too, and then hop in my next session. So it was like a wild back-to-back content week, but it was so good to be able to just take in the content. Like I've gone 3 times in person, and you get so much from inbound. Like when you get back, like you've got so much to apply and so much to do. And like, it's just, there's nothing better as a marketer.
Did you go last year?
Yeah.
How? So, I mean, they were still doing the, they still did like the hybrid event thing last year, right? Whereas like they didn't, I know they live streamed some of the big stuff this year, but they didn't, it wasn't like total hybrid. Like how did this year kind of, it was almost like this year was kind of like back to the original like formula, it felt like, right? Compared to like the hybrid stuff they were doing. How did it compare to like last year? Like was the hybrid stuff like taking anything away from it, or I don't know, give me your, what, like from year over year, what are your thoughts on like how well did they do kind of getting back to quote unquote normal, if you will?
So the hybrid model made it easier for my team that I didn't want to like pay to send to Boston to go and actually get the content. That was cool. I think a lot of people missed out on that. Yeah. But it definitely gives more allure of actually going in person to Boston whenever the hybrid option's not there. Like I think it makes the conference kind of matter more when it comes to like the esteem of having attended an event. But from a content perspective, I think it's really like upsetting as an attendee to know that there's all this content they could have recorded and distributed, but they're not. Yeah. But also I think the hybrid experience is really buggy for a lot of people. So like having that like virtual environment where you got to network and all of that, like I bet that they probably just didn't see the value in it. Whenever they could do in person, that would be my guess.
Didn't they make it like almost like a little like video game thing, if I'm remembering it correctly, where like you designed a little character and then you could like walk around? Did that work out well? Like I never played it. I never like I watched the like obviously the streams of the big stuff, but I never actually did any of like the networking things.
I absolutely didn't. I am an introvert, and so the idea of creating like a virtual me to go talk to people sounds like really painful.
Yeah,
So no,
we're not playing Second Life out here. Yeah, I don't know if you ever came across Second Life. That was a fun game. It's more like I guess more like Inbound Club Penguin or something like that. So actually, first of all, thank you for hopping on and hanging out with me. But I want you published an interesting article earlier that you sent me that I want you to share your thoughts on. But first, before that, can you kind of like tell the people either watching this live or watching it later who you are, kind of plug what you guys do a little bit so we can get a little bit of an introduction to Lauren here?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Lauren Ryan. I am founder and chief marketing nerd at Coastal Consulting. We are a Hapily partner. We're also a HubSpot. We're also a HubSpot and a Salesforce partner. We focus on HubSpot implementations, but specifically where Salesforce is involved. So our expertise and niche is in the HubSpot Salesforce integration. And so my kind of claim to fame is that we create really actionable and detailed content around HubSpot as it pertains to the Salesforce integration. We have a free course around it. So I just try to be on the forefront of any like thought leadership around the HubSpot Salesforce integration.
Yes. So HubSpot sales reps, if you're listening and you're looking for a partner that knows the integration with Salesforce in and out, and you know your customer is going to be running the HubSpot marketing plus Salesforce CRM, setup, the classic one we know so well, there is no better partner to turn to. And just let her know Max sent you. Anyway, awesome. Lauren. All right. So one thing that I want to do, and I actually found like a video someone did on this too, that I want to I'll watch and everything. But, being someone who's very familiar with the Salesforce side of the world, right? One of the big things that HubSpot, I guess, released, or a new feature that they kind of came out with this is like they're kind of marking this as like the relaunch of the Sales Hub, right? This is like one of the big things in that. Okay, got it. So for anyone who hasn't seen the ruckus about this, HubSpot introduced a lead object, which if you're living in the Salesforce world, that nomenclature definitely sounds familiar. Lauren, you're obviously very familiar with the Salesforce side of things and the HubSpot side of things. And you have an article. If you could post it in the comments, that would be like super cool so people can see it. I don't know if you put it, did you put it live or did you just DM it to me? I didn't know if you had published it yet.
It's live.
It's live. Cool. Sweet. Yeah. We'll get the link in there so everyone go check it out and we'll share it out later. But like, if you could summarize, for anyone who hasn't read it yet, if you could summarize, your gut reaction. Actually, wait, give me your gut reaction when you saw, lead object coming. And then after you kind of dove into it, played around with it, started using it, did it change? Like, did that mindset change? Are you into it? Are you not into it? Like, just wax poetic on the new lead object for me from a Salesforce perspective.
Gut reaction was because I've spent so much time explaining how HubSpot doesn't use leads, and like I spoke with a product manager who made the decision to use lifecycle stage instead of a separate lead object. And so like I've sat so strongly in the camp of like HubSpot doesn't use it and this is why, and it's the right decision. And then they were at Inbound and said the word leads. And I was like, oh my God, what? No. I've spent literally years talking about how it was such a good idea not to have them.
Yeah.
But the way that HubSpot is using leads is not what we have in our mind as what a lead is, because typically you come from Dynamic CRM or Salesforce and they have the lead and the contact. And that's not how HubSpot's using it. So gut reaction was kind of Now that I've played with it, I see the purpose. But again, if you're using Salesforce, my recommendation stays and remains and will stay. Like, don't use leads in HubSpot. Like, just don't turn the feature on. It's not going to be helpful. It's just going to be confusing.
Go lead sync. Is that what you're saying?
The leads do not sync to Salesforce.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I just wouldn't use the lead management tool at all if you're a HubSpot admin and you have HubSpot and Salesforce.
Okay.
I would just like pretend this never happened. And avoid it. I have my definition of what I think a lead is in Salesforce, right? Yep.
And I imagine that definition is probably much different than in HubSpot. Can you give like your, like, how would you explain a lead in Salesforce? And then how would you give like the simplest explanation of how it's different in HubSpot?
For sure. So leads in Salesforce are people who have just like submitted a form on your website, or maybe you've gone to a trade show and you uploaded a bunch of leads. Those are stored in an object called leads in Salesforce.
Yeah.
And then whenever they express interest in working with you, or you're moving them down the funnel, you convert them to an account, which is a company in HubSpot, a contact, which is a contact in HubSpot, and an opportunity, which is a deal in HubSpot.
Interesting.
And so leads are kind of like a phantom object that store data until it's ready to become like quote unquote real data in your Salesforce.
Yeah.
And that lead gets deleted, and now there's a contact account and opportunity. In HubSpot, there's the contact object, and that's it when it comes to managing people. So they have the contact object and then the life cycle stage property, which shows how leads go from, or how people go from being a lead, a marketing qualified lead, et cetera, throughout your sales process. And so now this new feature essentially says the default is once a life cycle stage is lead, it creates this lead on the contact. But in Salesforce, where the lead is a standalone thing on its own that's then converted into a contact, the lead object in HubSpot, this new lead management feature, is just a sub object of a contact. So it can't exist on its own without a contact or a company.
Yeah.
It kind of stores, it's kind of like a sales enablement, like storage unit is what I would look at it as. Like,
okay. All right.
So
interesting.
If you go look at the prospecting center, if you're in the beta, or look at their like documentation or this article, you can see that it shows leads where they are, like their recent conversion, where they came from, and then like how many days they've been around. So a lot of people are looking at speed to lead and all of that in their CRM reporting. So this like has that built in of like how long they've been waiting, how long they've been in the stage where you're trying to contact them. A lot of people have been using lead status to track like new, attempting to contact, all of that. This kind of breaks lead status into its own little thing.
Interesting.
Where you can track and manage it separately.
Got it.
So I think it has its merits, but if you're not using HubSpot as your primary and sole CRM, I wouldn't touch it, because it's not an object that can be integrated or touched by API at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay. So it's not like there's no like proper like custom properties or anything you can do with it. That's super interesting. All right. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the subscription object in HubSpot payments is almost what it sounds like, where it's this like it's obviously an object in a table somewhere behind it, but it's not like what we kind of classically understand from like a data structure perspective in terms of what's accessible to us in HubSpot, like a custom object or a contact or a company or anything like that.
Yeah, also kind of like an activity. Like it's just something that you can use, but it's not like, you can't really customize it.
Like, it's not like fully customizable yet. All right, that's super interesting. I was planning on, I'm going to go, I'm going to eventually pop in on this stream and go and try to just set it up from the first time in my personal portal. So I'm going to go through and we're going to take a look at it in a little bit. Cool. So would you say this is more going to be for like, well, I guess, you could say the SDR, BDR sort of motion where they're kind of like, they're not making a deal, right? But they're maybe kind of like sussing out the legitness and the qualification of like a lead, essentially. And you said it's triggered by the life cycle stage the contact's in?
So whenever you go to set this up, you'll see you essentially create a lead based on life cycle stage. So by default, it chooses lead, but you could also choose to create one at MQL, SQL, opportunity. You could choose to create a lead at every life cycle stage if you wanted to, which is really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I think people are trying to do is like in Salesforce, you can create multiple leads. And so what I think this is trying to do is saying, okay, every time we MQL this person, let's create a net new lead so we can then track conversion over time. And so I think this is what this is kind of doing. And we typically use like a ground zero opportunity stage to do this. So I'm curious to see from like a reporting perspective what this ends up looking like. But it starts with the lead stage.
That's wicked interesting. Like I remember there would be anytime that I don't know why this was like happened. Maybe it's just an industry thing. I remember a lot of times that I would work deals with like property management or like real estate companies. There was this concept that like I saw a whole bunch of times as like, they would call them inquiries. We want to track inquiries, right? So like I'm Max and I make an inquiry into property A, but I also might make an inquiry to property B, right? And for them, they saw that as like different things, right? So, I mean, you know, a lot of the times you're stuck sort of like setting up, you know, views or lists in the CRM of like people who have like filled out certain forms on certain pages or something like that. But like that would generally you'd have to get more and more and more specific, and end up creating like a lot of different things where it's like, it almost feels to me like this lead object it's tracking an instance of like a hand raised to talk to sales or something like that, right? So the only way they let you trigger it is through a life cycle stage. They don't let you say like create a new lead when like someone fills out a form or something, or do they?
From what I've seen, no, I haven't looked at where it plays in workflows. Actually, that's one thing I didn't look. I saw that it's you can use it as a list filter for the contact list, and you can use it as its own report. Like you can create lead reports. It doesn't look like you can't trigger lead-based workflows, which isn't surprising. It takes a while to become a workflow trigger.
Yeah.
It looks like, let's see if you can create a lead. Just live looking through HubSpot here. So I'm wondering if you like, you know, the create or create record.
Yeah.
Nope. It looks like life cycle stage change is the only thing they can trigger that.
Oh, funny. Interesting. That's so, you know what vibe that gives me is it gives me the same vibes as the, how when you set up SLAs in the conversations tool, the only thing you can use is priority or whatever.
Yep.
So that's like really, I mean, it's interesting, especially for people who, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people aren't properly using life cycle stages, right? So it's interesting that it really hinges, you know, upon the use of a property that not a lot of people get right, or have a healthy relationship with, which is super interesting. Anyway, we'll try to set it up and go through it. What other big updates did you see at Inbound that you were like stoked on? I know a lot of the AI stuff kind of came out of, I mean, not that it came out of nowhere. I know they were probably, everyone knew they were going to talk about AI, but there was like a lot of stuff in there that I didn't see coming, like the website builder, the report builder, like all that stuff. But was there anything else that like jumped out at you from like a feature perspective that you're stoked about from Inbound?
Not particularly. Like, not to say that there wasn't a lot of really great features.
Yeah.
I essentially haven't had a chance to dive into them, and so I like don't get excited until I fully understand something.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, one of the things that we're gonna do, there's an Inbound product recap video that I'm gonna watch. So if you want to stick around for that, we're gonna take a peek and that. And I'm super stoked about that too, because the guy who did it, Nick DeCoulis, I referred him to the role, and he took the sales professor job. Oh, I think he might have been sitting with us when you came by for your interview. I think maybe. But anyway, he did the video for the updates, so we're gonna check that out. Yeah, sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, I'm going to go hop and join a meeting, but I wish you the best in setting up leads and everything.
I'm going to try, and you can watch me stumble through it later, and we're going to explore the crap out of it. Thank you so much for joining, Lauren. And again, you got perms, so you can just jump right in wherever you want. All right. So if you're feeling, if I'm on later and you want to get back, you know where to find me.
All right. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. All right. Let's flip over to the YouTubes here. We got a couple videos that we got to go watch, and then we are going to dive into that leads thing, and we're going to figure it out together. So, okay, cool. So I got a couple things here. One, product updates here with the, whoa, Mark, chill out, dude. We're not ready to start the video. My guy, not ready. So let's go ahead and bring this open. Let me get rid of this. I should just stream some Starfield. That would actually be pretty tight. Let's go into theater mode. Let's go bring this over here. And then we can see Mark's beautiful face. Amazing. Okay. So big product updates from Inbound. What do we got? 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Let's see what Nick's got for us. and then we can kind of go from there, and we can break this stuff down, maybe go check it out. Hopefully, if anything's in beta, I've got access to it. But since I'm mostly working out of developer portals, those things don't go into betas, which is super annoying. But I got my personal one, so hopefully we'll be able to hop into anything, take a look at some cool stuff. Anyway, let's get into it.
Hey, it's Mark.
What's up, Mark?
To the inbound version of PSV. I can't wait.
Mark, we were supposed to get a bagel, dude, and we didn't. It's probably my fault.
To show you all the awesome updates to HubSpot. To get started, let's talk all things Sales Hub with my buddy Nick. Take it away, Nick.
With Sales Hub, your reps have everything they need to effectively cultivate.
I just love seeing Nick here. For anyone who doesn't know me and Nick's history, me and Nick were business specialists at a company you might know called Apple. Yeah, we worked at the retail store, but that's fine. Working at the business team at Apple Retail was a very interesting experience. One, because they paid you hourly, and two, you had a quota, and it was a B2B sales role. Make that make sense for me. It never did. That's another story for another day. Let's look at some of these updates.
Connections with prospects at scale through relevance. So let's take a look at the new prospecting workspace.
Okay, so they launched this prospecting workspace a while ago, and it had like the calendar connection in it. It had tasks. It had all the sequences stuff. It had like the task progress bar, things like that. But I'm assuming the big thing. Oh, this leads tool just lives right within prospecting. Okay, so let's learn about it.
Everything that I want to see as a representative is available to me right here in one place. All my tasks, sequences, leads, even my schedule.
Just want to say it's a hella flex that we're recording Academy update videos with our laptop cameras. Don't they send you good cameras, Nick? Oh, you got the side shot. That's right. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it's a hell of a good camera. Anyway, let's go.
And I can open up leads further and my schedule. But let's take a look at leads. With the addition of our new lead management tool,
There's a good camera.
reps can work their leads effortlessly, create, assign, and work leads without any fuss because your leads will move
Zero fuss. No fuss.
seamlessly throughout the stages as you engage them. If I decide to open up a lead,
Okay, I have not seen this yet. So what do we got? A little table? Is this in that leads tab?
it creates a split view for me.
Okay. So what is this? The contact record, or is this the lead record? Oh, it's probably a lot of the same information, I'd imagine.
And I'll know where they
What's this? Warm with a candle? Is this like an out of the box? Is this like an out of the box tag, or is this something like you can build and customize?
stand based on how they fall in the process, and leads will update as I'm contacting them. So
leads have stages, is what I'm assuming here.
if I reach out to one lead and log an email or a phone call, it'll
Guys, chat, if you've used this leads tool, give me your thoughts on it. I want to know what I should be looking at when I actually dive into it and try to set it up.
actually switch everything over to attempting. But here's
New. Yo, that's. Yo, why don't they do this for deal stages, bro? New for an hour. So it tells you how long they're spending in each one of these stages. So it probably gets created as new. What is it? What does attempting mean? Does that mean like after you log a, what do you have to log an activity and it switches to attempting? Connected. What is it? Like they, I mean, I guess you, are you manually moving people into these stages? Qualified and disqualified. I wonder if when you hit qualified, if it creates a deal. It's what's going to be interesting here to see how it like, how this affects the SDR AE like handoff thing, right? And I imagine there's also like going to be A's using this like full cycle sales reps, but I can only also assume too that this is going to be a big tool for anyone in that like classic like BDR, SDR motion where they're booking calls for their reps, right? So what would be interesting, and maybe it has this, I just haven't seen it. Oh, theoretically it should, because it has that little calendar button there. So that's kind of cool. So I can work the leads in this space, maybe have that initial call with them. And then if it makes sense for them to set up a call with an AE, you can literally book it right from here because that's that calendar button. So that's dope. Let's see how it works.
All the statuses that I can adjust in the settings, but for now,
statuses you can adjust in the settings. Let's hold Nick to that. It'll be interesting to see if you can customize these settings. Ashley, how are you doing? It's a surprise, LOL, lead-ish records. So you're saying they're records-ish? Are they records light? Not fully records?
now here's the default. New, attempting, connected if they happen to reply.
Okay.
If I want to move something to qualified, it creates a deal for me.
All right. Now, so if you can customize these stages, in theory, then it would have to, does this just do the deal form? Okay. So it just makes the deal form pop up. That kind of makes sense, because maybe you want to like adjust some of that stuff before you actually turn it into a deal. I'm trying to think of like all the questions people would ask around like, oh, can we make it so it can only become a deal if it meets like certain criteria or something? I don't know. We'll see.
Immediately. But if I need to disqualify it, it also asks me to select a disqualification reason. Hey.
Okay, wait. Bad timing, budget constraints. I wonder if you can customize these. Wondering what that looks like if it's not like a full record and these aren't just like properties. I guess I could see a world where they move it onto the regular like HubSpot object framework. Maybe it is living on there and it's all just like limited by the UI. Who knows? Bad timing, budget. Living the SE dream. Figuring it out over here as well. Learning with you. Hey, let's do it. Let's learn together. Actually, if you have Discord and you want to come hang out, like just let me know and I'll send you a Discord invite. All right.
Disqualification reason. Hey, did we just hear another business development rep qualify another lead? With our new sales to sales handoff feature in meetings, you're...
What's this, Nick? Sales to sales handoff. I mean, is this just the count, like being able to book on behalf of other people? Let's see. I wonder if it changes anything with ownership, or does Henry like own it? Yeah, that's actually interesting. What's it going to do about like, how does it handle ownership of the deal? Like if I'm an SDR, do I just like make sure it goes to like, do I have to like select my rep as the HubSpot owner or something?
BDRs can capitalize on the momentum gained from a successful qualifying call and seamlessly schedule the next meeting on the account executive's calendar. So keep your deals moving.
Okay, so it's the calendar bookers. They call sales to sales handoff is the calendar booker, which based, yeah.
Forward, no more slowing down and going back and forth and losing interest. You can schedule it for your...
I can already hear, oh, they have to like choose their rep's name from a drop down. Why can't it just automatically choose that? Sorry, I'm being salty right now. This is cool.
Reps right here. One of my favorite features.
It's just like usually whenever I see new features, I'm always able to like immediately know the customer nitpicks and complaints that I'm going to hear, or I was going to hear. Not my problem anymore. But for all my brothers and sisters in SE land and customer onboarding land, I feel this for you.
Being able to schedule a meeting right from the works.
That's so clean. That's awesome. Shout out to the team that built this, like, this whole new calendar framework for everything. It's so nice. So what, I come up here, I choose my SE, name the meeting, send the invite. It's not going to put me on it. And what, they just probably have to have their calendar connected to HubSpot or something. It's not like you're using like a specific meeting like they had. It looks like you're literally seeing, it's like literally pulling their availability, which is neat. I wonder, like, what sort of permissions you have around like what it shows in here, right? Like, does it say, can you get it to just say busy? Or maybe, well, he's looking at his own, so maybe it sees his, but maybe it's not going to show that for other people he chooses. I don't know.
Space. You ever get stuck with a contact where you can't actually schedule it for the account executive's calendar? Now, in Professional, I can actually set up a rep rotation and keep the momentum.
Yo, rep rotations are sick. This is so cool, especially if you're in a situation where it's not like a one, like if you're an AE or a BDR, like sometimes you've got one person you're booking meetings for. But then other times you have like 3 different reps that you're booking for, right? And if you don't have anything that's like giving you any routing logic based on like which customers are supposed to go to who, and it's just like you're trying to do a fair distributions of meetings that you're giving folks, this is sick because what'll happen is you could build these meeting rotations, and essentially all it is a mechanism in the back end that's literally saying like, okay, this person's up next to book a meeting with, then this person, then this person. And it keeps track of who you've actually booked the meetings with. And it serves up, I think in order, like who should be given the next meeting. You could of course say, oh, I hate that guy, and like book someone else. So I wonder like when folks are going to start being like, how can we force it? Or like, have control over that. Cause right now, like an AE could literally just have like play favorites with someone and just like book meetings with a bunch of people. Not that they'd have an incentive. Well, maybe they would. Who knows? Depending on how good that sales culture is. Anyway,
going and make sure that I get that meeting booked with that lead. And with the new lead form routing tool, you can create conditional redirect rules within HubSpot forms to automatically qualify and route your leads to the right rep.
Enterprise only, by the way. I found that out the hard way. Right? So I'll show it to you. I'll talk about it.
Let's take a look. This lead routing form actually allows me to
This is so sick. This is unreal. So if you haven't seen this yet, and everyone's been freaking out about it, so I can only assume you have. But essentially what this lets you do is after a form, so remember the marketing forms tool, right? Usually you have the option to either like display a thank you message, or if you're, smart, you just you redirect to a thank you page, right? Don't for the love of God, don't ever just display a thank you message. Put some effort into your thank you pages, add some context, send people to one. But the other thing you can do here is you can redirect to a meeting scheduling page. The reason this is actually sick, and it's for one, it's not just like, oh, like, okay, don't get me wrong. The conditional logic is super, super cool. The one complaint I have is that why can't we use conditional logic just to go to a different thank you page, please? Right? Not to mention the fact the surveys tool figured out multi-step forms before the marketing forms tool did. I'm not mad at anybody, okay? I'm not angry. I'm just asking questions, all right? Now, this is sick, okay? Not just because the conditional routing is sick, right? If they're in this industry, send it to Ricky. If it's in this industry, send it to Jennifer. If it's in this industry, send it to can you send it to like a round robin type thing? Maybe. That's super cool, right? However, the best part about this is that it packages up all the information about the questions that it filled out on the form, and it passes it on to the meetings tool on the next page. Now, you might be sitting there going, Max, the meetings tool already has a feature that lets you autofill, stuff with known values. Duh, dude. Yeah, of course. I know it does, right? But the problem with that is there's not enough time for the database in the back end. If you're just doing like the regular, send to like redirect to another page and you paste in the URL of the meeting link, right? Which is how you did this kind of before they had this as an option, right? I mean, you had to do much more custom stuff to do the routing, the conditional routing or whatever. But if you just tried to fill out a marketing form and then the thank you page is a meetings link tool, what sucked about that is it'd get cookied on the marketing form and it would send back the information to HubSpot in order to be able to, update the properties and everything. But that meetings link would load too fast for the database to update and then be able to fill in any of the known values that the form asks and skip those questions and go straight to the select a time part, right? The PM who did this told me on LinkedIn, so it's in public, that when it's done in this method, it passes that information, it packages it up and it shoots it over to that meeting links page. So even if that person, the quickness of the cookie shit and everything updating in the background and everything, obviously it's not happening fast enough, it brings it over so it skips all that stuff. And that's good, because the last thing you want people to do after they give you their email and their name on a form, the last thing you want them to do is have to type it in literally again on the next page when they go to book the time with you, right? So yes, the conditional stuff is so cool and it's awesome. It's going to be even cooler when it lets you go to a different thank you page, not just a meeting link, but excuse me, but with the meeting link stuff, very specifically, since it passes that information over to make sure any known values get filled and skipped, right? It makes that process of fill out a marketing form so you can capture their information and then have them book much better. The only thing that's tough is that this is only for Marketing Hub Enterprise. I've lobbied the PM when I was talking to her about it to say, hey, it would be cool if you could just at least go to one thing, one meeting page without the conditional logic stuff, just so you can have the benefit of passing over that information, right? In the way that it works, and then just make the conditional logic stuff for for enterprise. I get that the conditional logic can be enterprise, right? But at least give us the option to say redirect to a meetings link, even if it's just one meetings link, right? Just to get the benefit of passing that information over. Matthew, I need to know, do we still need Chili Piper Form Concierge? I don't know what Form Concierge was. What I will tell you HubSpot's already kind of killed from Chili Piper is that instant book card, right? So Chili Piper, which I think is a really cool product anyway, I'm not trying to shit on Chili Piper at all. I love you, Chili Piper. I love your hot sauce that you sent. You guys are the best. But one of the reasons that I would recommend Chili Piper all the time is because they had this really cool card. Who's calling me? No, I have no time for you right now. They had this custom card that I think was on Contact Records that it was called Instant Book. And that was by far the best way. If you were a BDR and you had to book somebody on someone else's calendar, that was super dope. But since they added that feature in HubSpot that just lets you book on other people's calendars instead of the awkward, I book it on my calendar, but then I don't show up to the meeting, but it's my calendar. No, right? That's stupid. That replaces why I sent people to Chili Piper for Instant Book, right? But Chili Piper, if you're watching this, I love you. Don't be mad at me. HubSpot just made cool stuff. Anyway, yeah. So this lead routing stuff is really cool. I think there's an opportunity for them to at least do the redirect stuff at the pro level, right? Just even if it's just to one, right? But you'll see what happens. She said it wasn't off the table, so who knows?
Automate the experience so that if a
but this is sick. You can literally say if a property is equal to any of something specific, go to a specific meeting link. That's fire.
lead actually interacts with something on my website, like a form, for example, I can actually just immediately set them into a sequence of enrollment. This is huge. That automates the entire experience. I could never miss a lead at this point.
Nick, not only is it huge, it's gigantic.
And while we're on the topic of
Form Concierge is lead routing, I got some vetting to do. Well, is it lead routing to booking pages for specific people, Matt? Or is it lead route? Because you can do someone fills out a form in HubSpot and then you can run a workflow that routes the lead, right? Based on a form submission. But what this is doing is this is just sending people to a meeting link, which is way different. I don't know if that's what Chili Piper's doing. By the way, how's my audio? I'm literally making love to my microphone right now. It's right up in my face. If I'm popping or it sounds too weird, just let me know if I'm sus. Anyway.
productivity, we made our sequences tool even smarter. Now you
The sequence tool is smarter. Hold on. I just like this face that Nick is making. Beautiful. I'm gonna save that and make my profile picture. No meeting link with Chili Piper. No meeting link needed with Chili Piper. I don't get it. I'll take your word for it. You should look at it. It's pretty cool. Just keep in mind that lead routing thing is sales enterprise only, right? Which is, I get it, but I mean, that's hella relevant at pro levels. You know what I mean? It's just, there's ways that they could maybe give it like less rules at the pro level, and then at the enterprise, make it like a ridiculous amount of rules, right? It's, you know, because it could be like, oh, we just have one, like maybe give it like one lead routing rule or one conditional rule, right? Where it's like, oh, if they select industry and it's like, oh, if it's education, I want to give all the education customers to Dave, and then everyone else goes to Jennifer or whatever, right? Like, do one rule for pro, right? And then if it's like super complex, crazy, million other rules, have that be enterprise. Don't gatekeep us.
Your sales team can stop guessing which sequences work best.
Because, like, if you think about it, sorry, I keep interrupting Nick here. If you think about it, if you look at any of the enterprise features across any of the hubs, the general theme, at least some people might, I don't think this applies to everything, but the general theme that I kind of get from those features is that they're generally features that are only relevant to scaling larger, more complex teams, right? You know, so if you look at them, you go, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense if you have more people, right? And there's an argument I think you can make for a lot of them, like SSO, for example. Like you're probably not, you know, worried about SSO if you only have a couple people working for you, right? But all of a sudden, when you have a bunch of different apps and a ton of employees, like you're probably thinking about SSL a little bit more, right? So like, there's a lot of stuff that, like, when you look at enterprise, it's like, all right, unless you got a scaling company with like a lot more employees, like generally that's like, you know, I can't see that for the marketing hub features, but definitely for like a lot of like the ancillary features that are like administrative stuff, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah. What'd you send me here, Matt? Let's see. Is this the Chili Piper thing? Where's the frackin' chat, dude? Oh, here it is.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. This is Jason from the product marketing team at Chili Piper. I wanted to create this video to give you a quick overview demonstration of our Chili Piper meetings product. And in particular, I want to focus on our concierge feature, which allows you to be able to book meetings instantly with your inbound leads right on your website. So when they fill out a demo request or a contact us form, giving them the ability to instantly book a meeting with your team.
That's why I put it on 2x.
Versus waiting to hear from SDR or AE or anything like that, and all the back and forth email. You know, and why is this form?
All right, fill it out.
HubSpot, Pardot, Iloqua, we work with through the form. It's also routing this particular meeting request to the right AE or SDR, however you set this up. In that case, an AE. And it's routing it to them based on rules that you define. So in the back end of Chili Piper, we'll go back and take a look in a set information here. I can even go down and there's a reschedule link if I wanted to reschedule. And then it kicked me over to a different groups of customers or prospects that they work with. They've created today. In particular, for this demo request form, we have these three here. You can see it's based on company size, and this is just a name we've given it. But one.
I don't know if it's fully that, but it's. I'll watch this later. Yeah. I bet it's pretty similar. Yeah, Matt, if you haven't looked at a lot of that stuff lately, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, what is it missing? I was banging on the table for a really, really long time for just the, what am I even trying to say here? Just the ability to just like book someone else's calendar, right? And they added that, which is super cool because they totally reworked like calendar integrations, like with HubSpot. They rebuilt the whole thing because it used to be separate. It used to be the meeting links one, and then there was literally a separate Google Calendar integration for you to be able to like schedule a meeting from a contact record. And then they put all of that on the same framework and like relaunched it. And that's what let them do things like book a meeting with someone else, do the meeting rotations thing, right? So like what else do they have to build on that? I don't know. It's a good question. I'm sure there's like some cool features that like, Chili Piper has, being like a calendar forms type tool or whatever, but I don't know. Look into it. And Matt, maybe if you've got some stuff, you can come on and we can chat on the show. Anyway, let's keep watching this.
And start truly optimizing their outreach based.
So we went on a weird tangent. Smart sequences is what he's looking at.
Based on actual revenue outcomes. Found a sequence that's underperforming? Simply use the new step level analytics to max.
It's missing the ability to pop up enrichment. Oh. Wait, Chili Piper does like enrichment, like Zoom info type enrichment, or am I missing something here? It's missing the ability to pop up the calendar scheduler embedded in the same page. The issue we've run into is people submit the form, it starts to load the page to take them to the scheduling page, and then it exits out. Interesting. And Ryan, that's with Chili Piper? Man, Chili Piper's going to start to think this is a Chili Piper slander channel. It's not. We love you guys.
Maximize each step in the sequence.
Wait, well, I missed what he just said. Step level analytics. Oh.
Simply use the new step level analytics to maximize each step in the sequence.
Integration.
Let's take a look. What's really cool here is we used to only show analytics for automated tasks like email sends. But now we can report on all steps, like even the non-automated ones, like LinkedIn connection requests and manual tasks.
How is it? Does the LinkedIn connection request? Oh, wait, hold on. Ryan, I just reread your quote. I mean, your quote, your comment here. So you're saying so HubSpot, I was thinking you were saying Chili Piper. So you're saying HubSpot is missing the ability to pop up the calendar scheduler embedded in the same page. Oh, the issue we've run into is people submit the form, it starts to load the page to take them to the scheduling page, and then they exit out. Wait, is it like slow load times on the meetings page when it loads from a form? I don't know. Let me know. Okay, it looks like we're A/B testing sequences now. Jeez. We'll A/B test anything, huh?
Emails, etc.
When are we doing adaptive testing for sequences, huh? I want to run 5 sequence variations at a time. Okay? Just kidding. I don't want to live in that hell. They're just done. They think they're done when they hit submit. Oh. That's an interesting problem. So I guess the question is, what do you do to combat that, right? And I think we just did a Hub Heroes episode about this. I can't remember. But Matt, chill. We're gonna finish the video, okay? This is it's transformative. All right, we're doing transformative React content here. Okay, we'll get there. You can watch the video on YouTube if you want to, but we're gonna stop and talk about it. All right. I think the big thing there, right? Just like on here's my thing, right? On forms, we all know the submit button, right? Too many people keep that f***ing button saying the word "be mad," right? The submit button should listen, I'll throw big words out there as much as I want, all right? The submit button should be mirroring whatever the action is that you're doing at that time, right? Because you're not filling out a form. You're requesting a consultation. You're telling sales you want to speak with them. You are downloading and getting a specific piece of content, right? You're not submitting a form, right? Or at least you shouldn't feel that way, right? So like, I guess what I would then recommend, or what I would prescribe to folks that are going to be using these forms that redirect to these meeting scheduling links, is you have to like prep them. Hey, there's going to be something past this page where we're going to ask you to do something, right? So maybe think of like your form submit buttons changing the text on them to say, next, book your time, right? Or have it say book your time. So it's like, oh, I haven't booked a time on the form yet. That's probably going to happen on the next page, right? Or I see it, it's like, oh, they're going to ask me to book my time on this next page. Or say it somewhere on your landing page copy. Or, hey, think of this, you can add in rich text fields into forms. Put one right before the button, right? Let them know. On the next page, we're going to ask you to pick a time that works for you, right? Prep them for it. But I'm sure you've thought of this, Ryan. You little boy genius. You smart HubSpot man. All right, anyway.
Especially love, though, here is the new A/B test.
The issue is that we only redirect the meeting schedule in certain cases depending on what they fill in the form. Yeah. You can't make, I know you can do conditional form fields. You can't do conditional rich text modules, right? Because, yeah, maybe in some situations they're booking with someone, in some situations they're not. Matt, are you running an ad in the chat right now? Or do you want me to look at something? Because I'll hawk you guys all day. Everybody check out Tavuti LMS. Tavuti on Rudy. All right, let's go back to this video and then I'll take a look at what you want to show me here.
Testing feature. I can take...
Okay, wait. I talked through all this shit. I'm going to watch it for 2 seconds and we're going to figure out what he's actually saying.
Take a look. What's really cool here is we used to only show analytics for automated tasks like email sends. But now we can report on all steps, like even the non-automated ones, like LinkedIn connection requests and manual tasks, emails, etc. What I especially love, though, here is the new A/B testing feature.
Oh, wait, I still missed it. What are we... Oh, step performance. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming... Oh, all right. So what it's doing is it's saying how many times the step got executed. So how many times the sequence made its way there, right? Oh, okay. I'll look at the CTA. How many times a meeting got booked during that step, or is it after that step? I wonder how they're framing the timing there, right? Is it that step happens and then that activity gets recorded, so then they attribute it to the is that what they're doing? And then opens and clicks on emails. Okay, so there's probably going to be some stuff where if it's just like a task that it's telling the sales rep to do, it's probably not going to be logging opens or clicks, but like maybe it's logging an email reply or it's seeing like a meeting get booked or something like that. I just wonder, like, where is it sitting it on the timing? Is it before the step happens, after the step happens, but before the next one? Oh. Anyway.
It's in manual tasks, emails, etc. What I especially love, though, here is the new A/B testing feature. I can take 2 different emails that I have in a sequence, enroll them both, and understand which one's working better when it comes to seeking the prospects.
Is it just going to do a 50-50 split at that point? I mean, that's what it looks like. I don't see a slider.
So I can identify the open rate, the click rate, the reply rate, and the meeting rate. This helps me understand...
Oh, it looks like you literally just turn it on and then it runs and then you see it and then you probably just turn it off.
What is working when it comes to sending the right emails to the right prospects? That's huge for identifying how many more meetings I could be booking and therefore how many more deals I could be closing because I get better contacts with those right prospects.
Thanks, Nick. That was awesome. To learn more about Sales Hub, click here.
Wait a minute. wait a minute. Mark, where am I clicking?
As AI gets even more deeply embedded into the way we work.
Oh shit, the AI stuff was surprising. I have my sources. at HubSpot. And, I had a pretty good idea what's coming. That AI stuff, though. They did a good job keeping that under wraps.
HubSpot is doubling down, drive results, and build deeper customer connections. As HubSpot continues to solve for the customer, we've heard from our enterprise customers they want greater control and customization of the CRM. Well, good news.
I see anything? What's this? What is this? So this is a health card. So you can, I assume that, what is this? This has to be a custom card someone made, because you don't, like, well, one, there's these, down here, hold on, to read the closed caption. There is, these progress bars, which I'm pretty sure you can only build in via private apps. Those overview tabs that they have in the center panels now that you can do in the UI doesn't have all these options to have like the change in a time frame or these little colors or anything. So this has to be an example of something custom someone built in that middle pane using a private app. This is not something you can do in the regular UI.
Create custom user experiences on top of HubSpot.
Right, I'll get the CC back.
CRM record pages as UI extensions.
Oh, okay, all right. So literally you just said UI extensions. All right, never mind. Okay. I was gonna say, like, wait, what the hell does not look like what they released? Okay, so this is, you can do this with UI extensions. Developers go crazy. HubSpot cribbed Google's keynote. What do you mean?
Want to know why no one out Pizza Hut? 75-cent boneless wings.
Yo.
While prices go up, ours.
Let's get it.
Woo-wee! Would you look at that dunk? 75-cent
Oh
boneless
man,
wings
I can
from
skip
Pizza
this
Hut.
ad,
That's
but
why no.
AI, generative AI, generative AI, generative AI, AI is AI, 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 AI. It uses AI to bring AI, 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 AI.
Old McDonald had a server farm. AI, yo. Oh my God. That's too funny, Ryan.
Custom cards on CRM record pages.
Is this an example? This isn't like the React stuff, right? I feel like this is all just, stuff that they just let people build and like they have all the elements for it like already in that like UI builder. Unless this is the React stuff. I have no idea. I'm not a developer. Don't look at me like that.
To easily visualize and action your HubSpot data.
It's like so
Boost
sick
rep
though.
productivity by customizing.
Woo, look at that. Look at that little Domino's pizza tracker on there. That's sick. That is so sick. Who says HubSpot can't be an ERP? A lot of people, but come on, man. Just build it on there. Just build it in there.
Record page view by team.
That was an uneducated take. I'm so sorry.
Using the CRM record page editor. We've heard from you that you loved our
Wait a minute.
record page editor.
No, everything he, Mark, I love you. Everything, I love you so much, Mark. Everything that he just showed, all of this is custom stuff. It's not the CRM page editor, right? It's, yeah, totally different.
You by team using the CRM.
Yeah, a little different, Ryan. They're very different.
Record page editor. We've heard from you that you loved our
CRM card playbook released by what? 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 Am I gonna get gated? Is this content gated? It's not gated. Ungated, baby. What do you got? Oh shit. This is dope. Yo, shouts out to 88 for showing the people how to use these CRM cards. Oh, that's a social security number. Just kidding. CRM card. Okay, good. I thought for a second you were like, this is how you can store a social security number in HubSpot. No, that's not what cards are for. And Ryan is explaining it very well here. Nice. Deal cards. This feels very different than the. Oh yeah, because you're building this stuff custom. Oh, appointment scheduler. Very neat. Awesome. Go check that out, everybody. That's actually there's some good inspo in there.
Commerce tools, and now they're all packaged together in our newly launched Commerce Hub.
Okay, here it is. Don't even cater social security numbers. Grant, hold on, Grant, I gotta tell you, of all the hugs that I got and gave at Inbound, there's something very special about yours. And I feel like it was mostly because of your beard, which is just the most glorious, decadent, scrumptious, full-bodied beard that I've ever seen. Yeah. Man, you gave a good one too, man. Or did we dap it up? I can't remember. I feel like I gave you a hug. Pretty sure I did. Hope I did it on Friday because I had COVID. Anyway. All right, Commerce Hub. I don't think they taught. You know what? Hold on. We gotta divert for a second here. We gotta divert.
Hey, it's Mark, and welcome to the Inbound version of.
I want to go take a look at Andy's spotlight here. He talks about it somewhere.
Call to be their job, but or tab.
Sales Hub. Deals. Sales Hub.
That means a lot less time fighting with spreadsheets.
Forecasting, super cool.
Just tell Hub how do you use tool between
LinkedIn.
Easy to create, easy to send. Commerce Hub. It's changing about and that's what you get.
Sales Hub. Okay.
Now we can't talk about better selling without also talking about better buying.
Yes.
And that's what you get with Commerce Hub.
Okay.
One big thing that's changing. Okay, Commerce Hub in the
that was Jack Cooper Smith and the gang. Grant, I saw you like 15 away from you about the second comment. Oh man, misconnection.
Yeah. One big thing that's changing about the customer journey is it's becoming more self-service. In fact, 80% of B2B.
Wait, so what did he say leading up to this?
Okay, without also talking about better buying. And that's what you get with Commerce Hub.
Okay.
One big thing that
I love Andy. That's a big deal. I feel like you should put a little more boof to that, right? Like, can we get some like fireworks or just like something dropping down from the ceiling? I mean, man casually announced a brand new hub, right? Yeah, granted, it's got some familiar tools in it, but I mean, basically saying, hey, here's like a very fundamental chunk of the platform, right? It's going to be a really big part of it. And obviously, since we made it our own hub, we're going to put a lot of like time and effort into it. And a lot of cool stuff is obviously going to come in the future. No fireworks, no nothing. Andy, this should be a huge moment. Anyway, let's talk about it.
It's changing. Okay, Commerce Hub.
Commerce Hub.
One big thing that's changing about the customer journey is it's becoming more self-service. In fact, 80% of
did they have it scheduled at the same time as sessions?
Digital self-service, which is why we are making buying easier with Commerce Hub. You can send payment links so you can quickly bill your customers right from inside your CRM.
Payment links are so clean.
And this year, we added professional invoices. They are easy to create, easy to.
How's that invoice object? Is it just like a reskin version of the quotes tool? Because like the way that I understand it, quote, this is how much this is going to cost. Invoice, this is how much money you owe us. Receipt, this is how much money you paid us. I saw a lot of people using the quotes tool, changing the template, writing the word invoice on it, and it did the job. But I guess the invoice tool can keep track of if it's paid or not. I know it has its own like little object or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, people were asking for a long time. Wish they had it when I was a SE. That would have been nice. And I know they've already built it into a couple of like data sync integrations, which is kind of sick. And the problem is like other tools making their invoices, easily accessible via their API or whatever.
Best of all, they make life easy for your customers. And with the customer platform, you can automate your billing, connect to accounting software like QuickBooks, and even connect your existing Stripe account.
Okay. All right, guys. Hold on.
Oh, that's hot.
Nope.
Zebra.
Zebra. Taking a Zebra break real quick. Here's the deal. Okay. Something to know about this Stripe integration is that it's cool, but it's only using Stripe as the payment processor, right? So it's the big thing that like we're trying to educate folks on. Like if you don't need like Stripe's functionality, right? You don't need to build anything on Stripe. You're not using Stripe to like manage any of your subscriptions. You're not using Stripe to manage your product library. You're not, you don't have any need to like talk to Stripe's API, like any of that stuff. Like HubSpot payments is sick. It's cool, right? What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to use an existing Stripe login, like the credentials, right? Essentially to have Stripe be like the payment processor, right? However, it's still going to have you manage your subscriptions and your products inside of HubSpot, right? Which is cool. Like if your business is set up in a way where you can do that. It's great. But if you have to use Stripe, maybe you're a company outside of the USA, right? Or you're a company building your payment infrastructure on Stripe. You're managing your payment infrastructure on Stripe. You're making Stripe calls to Stripe's API, any of that stuff. Like SaaS companies, this would really ring a bell, right? This is not going to be a good fit for you because you're going to have to switch all that infrastructure over to HubSpot payments, right? So, I wouldn't say Zebra's a competitor with this. We're serving two very different customers here, right? But just know that if you have your subscriptions and your products sitting on Stripe, you're going to want to use Zebra to connect that to HubSpot. Zebra. That's hot. I'll move on from this. Cool. Commerce Hub stuff. I just want to see if there's anything else in here besides this. He spends like 1 second on this and then moves on from it.
With Commerce Hub, we are making payments easy.
One thing there is, and I don't know what else it does, but I noticed that the other Stripe integration that's on there is now like a data sync integration, and it does something with products, but I have no clue.
For you and your customers, it works seamlessly on the customer platform, and there's no monthly subscription fee. Who's excited about getting paid?
There's a platform fee. There's a 1% platform fee, right? Yeah, HubSpot payments, great for companies new to digital payments. Absolutely. Once HubSpot payments hits an API, that's going to be sick. That's going to be dope, right? Yeah, that'll be super cool. Anyway, okay, let's come back over here.
Allowing you to get paid faster, increase revenue, and save time. The wait is over. HubSpot SMS for marketers is live. You can now reach your contacts directly on their mobile device for more.
Oh!
Save time. HubSpot SMS for marketers is live.
SMS native in HubSpot now. That's kind of cool. What's so interesting about this is that there's just been like a million apps on the HubSpot app marketplace that have more functionality than this that have been doing it, right? But it's nice to see HubSpot starting to build this stuff in natively. Like that's sick, right? It's clear they took their time. It's clear they're doing it right? And even if it's like piece by piece, kind of building up the functionality to get like parity with some of the better apps that are out there that are already doing this, right? I think this is a additional paid add-on. I don't know if this is something that comes with a specific hub. Let's actually look. SMS pricing. Oh, of course, I'm gonna get all the ads. Here we go. Nope. That was deceptive. Oh no. It says available with any Marketing Hub Pro and Enterprise. Did I get some bad information? I thought it was like an add-on. Oh, Ryan, I wonder if they're texting you, dude. Message segments. Opt-ins. Oh yeah, you gotta opt everybody in for it. That sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, that's interesting. So wait, if we just go to HubSpot.com/pricing. And we go take a look at marketing. You go look at marketing. SMS. Nowhere on the page. Cool. Nowhere on the page. Cool. Hold on. SMS. Wow, not on the pricing page. That's super interesting. You would think they would have had this shit like updated the second inbound ended. Guess not. All right.
You can now reach your contacts directly on their mobile device for more instant and effective communication.
Now, I think they're working on a private so what he just showed, this is like you going and like sending it as if it was an email, right? I'm pretty sure they're working on a beta for this that you can send this stuff in workflows now, but we'll see.
Marketing SMS add-on and marketing
he said
limit increase are
add-on and limited increase. So it is an add-on.
now available for purchase on Pro and Enterprise accounts. So those are some of my favorite updates to HubSpot for this inbound edition of PSV. As always, to learn more, click the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark from HubSpot.
Love you, Mark. Let's get a bagel soon, please. Oh, this is awkward. It's suggesting the live that I'm on right. Oh, wow. Oh, this is awkward. It's suggesting, oh man, we're going to get stuck in an infinite loop. Anyway, let's get out of here. Oh, that was unhinged. Okay. So there's that. Super cool updates. The next thing, yeah. The next thing I wanted to do is I want to dive into this like new lead object thing, right? To do this, new video from Process Pro Consulting. This is Adam. I ran into Adam at Inbound. We're supposed to have, Adam, if you're watching, bro, I'd love to have that happily partnership conversation, my man. I know I was sick last time. Was I sick or did my house flood the second time? We talked about this at Inbound. I don't think we quite established it because a lot of it happened at the same time. But Adam, man, I'm gonna watch your video. You're gonna teach me how to do this, and then I'm gonna try to set it up in my portal. But I want to get your take on it. I'm gonna bump this up. Let's do a little 1.5. And Adam, show me the way, brother. Let's do this. Beautiful introduction.
Hey everybody, we got breaking news out of Inbound 2023 up here in Boston. The HubSpot Sales Hub now has a lead object. They're adding a lead object that is separated from the contact object so that you can create a lead and send it down its own process that you define in order to make sure that the lead gets handled. This is a massive improvement. I'm about to go walk you through the setup, what there is, what there isn't to the HubSpot user experience. In a nutshell, now you'll be able to drive workflows to create leads or drive based off of activities to create leads and handle.
So you can use a workflow to create a lead. Okay.
That over to your sales team in its own space where they can use the prospecting tool and the other Sales Hub engagement tools to really make sure you are responding and able to track how you're tracking to your leads. So without further ado, let's jump on in and show you firsthand how it works.
Show me.
All right. So the prospecting beta is to really allow and streamline.
Wow. Hold on. Can we just wait a minute? Can we just talk about how beautifully Adam framed up this screen share? Is it moving in the background?
A sales rep.
Oh my God, it is. Adam, as someone who's fancies himself quite a connoisseur of screen sharing, I don't know if you're using, are you using Camtasia for this? I'd imagine you're probably using Camtasia for this. I don't know. This is sick. This looks awesome.
Or BDR to have
someone tag Adam in the comments so we can come hang out.
A spot to operate out of in the HubSpot portal. So kind of as we've seen, you got all your tasks. You've got overdue, due today, sequences, what's in play, your schedule, and then
hold on. Why is this? I need to like tag. I'm gonna watch this.
Suggested activities where you may have missed a response to somebody, or it's been a while since you sent an email. So this is bringing everything in one place. You can customize these and move these around, similar to any other area of HubSpot. So this is again pretty cool, just feature alone. But then we add the lead functionality, and so we're gonna walk through here for the first time leads. So work your most important leads efficiently and keep track of your lead at every single stage. So we're gonna start using leads here. and look at, how do we want to classify a lead? And so here, when you classify a lead, is going to be based off of select lifecycle stages where you want to pull somebody in. And so which contact lifecycle stage do you want to pull a lead from? So you're going to have your lifecycle stage set up.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to tag out
that is consistent so that you can always pull.
I need to go back. I need to go back. Okay, hold on. Okay. Wait. All right. Sorry.
A sales rep or a BDR to have a single spot to operate out of in the HubSpot portal. So kind of as we've seen, you got all your tasks, you've got overdue, due today, sequences, what's in play, your schedule, and then suggested activities where you may have missed a response to somebody or it's been a while since you sent an email. So this is bringing everything in one place. You can customize these and move these.
Yo, real quick, I got an early look at this prospecting thing like a while ago, and it doesn't look like they ever like built it. Maybe they did. I have to go check it. But one thing that they were kind of showing me is they were at least planning on using AI to kind of look at the calendar and make like suggestions, right? So like imagine you see like a call that happened, right? And maybe they did it. I have to like go look and see. Maybe if I go into my portal here, Hapily Partners, if I go to my prospecting thing and I look at my schedule. Oh yeah, dude. Look, you can, it will see meetings, and I'm assuming it's looking at meetings that are, why is this so, okay. I'm assuming it's looking at meetings of people that are in your thing. But dude, you can literally like update the outcome of stuff. But then they were showing me like, oh, when it sees like gaps in your calendar, it was going to use like AI or something to like fill gaps with like suggestions, right? So something like, oh, if it sees like there's a bunch of, I don't know if they're still playing this. It would be really cool if we deployed some of that AI on this interface here, guys, right? So where it's like, oh, if it sees you're doing like back-to-back meetings and it sees a gap, maybe like have a button that says, wow, looks like you're on a lot of calls. Maybe take a break, and then you click it and then it blocks your calendar out. That would be sick. Anyway, maybe that was just a pipe dream when they did it, but
these around similar to any other area of HubSpot. So this is, again, pretty cool just feature alone, but then we add the lead functionality. And so we're going to walk through here for the first time, leads. So work your most important leads efficiently and keep track of your lead at every single stage. So we're going to start using leads here and look at, how do we want to classify a lead? And so here, when you classify a lead, it's going to be based off of.
Yeah. I'm an AI simp when it suits me well, Matt, not when I'm terrified of it. I'm so confident about that AI, bro.
Select lifecycle stages where you want to pull somebody in. And so
listen, I'm thinking more along the lines, it's like Clippy making a suggestion, all right? The real AI OG. Okay, give me Clippy, or give me Sprocky. We should have like a contest where we design like the equivalent of Clippy just inside a HubSpot. That'd be hysterical.
Which contact?
Okay, again, I missed this. So, all right, so he hasn't turned it on yet. Start using leads, we'll turn it on.
And keep track of your lead at every single stage. So we're going to start using leads here and look at, how do we want to classify a lead? And so here,
what does this mean? Which contact lifecycle stages do you want us to pull leads from? So this is what Lauren was saying earlier, where you choose a lifecycle stage for it to trigger the creation of a lead or something. And then it says that entered. Okay, so it's anyone that entered. Anyone that entered this stage in the last 30 days. Okay, that makes sense.
To classify a lead is going to be based off of.
The question here is like, how good is your company's relationship with the lifecycle stages property? Because for a lot of people, it's non-existent, right? Which, if you needed any more of a reason to like get serious about the lifecycle stage property, here it is.
Select lifecycle stages where you want to pull somebody in. And so which contact lifecycle stage do you want to pull a lead from? So you're going to have your lifecycle stage set up and functioning in a way that is consistent so that you can always pull leads in.
It's tall order for some people.
So we've got subscriber, lead, marketing qualified, sales qualified, opportunity, the standard HubSpot lifecycle stages. Again, reminder that these can be...
Guys, by the way, go subscribe to Process Pro Consulting on YouTube.
Customized for your verbiage or the way that you think of your lead funnel. HubSpot now allows us to customize the lead lifecycle stages so that you can then pull them in to this lead object. So let's go for marketing qualified lead and see for the last 180 days. I don't have any of those in my portal. So I'm going to go lead and I'm going to go...
A lot of us don't. It's okay.
30 days to see what populates.
Based relatable problem for HubSpot marketers.
So we're going to pull in the leads and then we're going
to... Okay. Automation settings. Bring leads into prospecting automatically. You can change these at any time. Create a lead based on a lifecycle stage. So when a contact or a company... Oh, that's interesting. Is that indicating that companies have lead objects too? When a contact or company, does it bother anyone else that they say when a contact or company in the first sentence, and then when they say when a company or a contact, they reverse it in the next one? Oh my God, I don't know why that's triggering me so much. All right, so create a lead based on the lifecycle stage. So when a contact or company enters a certain lifecycle stage, a new lead gets created. Okay, so in theory, that can only happen once if you set it up correctly, where I get to a certain stage, lead object gets created, right? Set a lifecycle stage when a lead is what? When a company or contact is associated to a lead, it changes the life cycle stage. So what that is telling me that you can then create a lead. Oh, my brain. You can create a lead manually. And I'm assuming if you can do it manually, you can do the workflow. So there would be a situation where a lead object would get associated to a contact record, not by just being created because the contact went through a certain life cycle stage. Okay.
We're going to bring leads into prospecting automatically, which let's take a look at the settings here that are available to us. But right on the surface, you can create a lead based on a life cycle stage, or you can set a life cycle stage when a lead is associated, which would control life cycle stage. So digging into that a little bit, we can come back out here and look at the settings. So when a contact or company enters a lifecycle stage, a new lead can be created. Key thing here is it's going to be a contact.
Oh, this is what we saw. Okay.
Or a company. So this is good to note in terms of you can create a lead based on a contact or a company lifecycle stage changing. We'll go back into this to make sure kind of as we move forward, is a contact, like if a contact or a company gets created as a lead, what's that show up as? Does it show up as the company name or the individual on that company? We can set lifecycle stage when a lead is associated. So to me, we'll have to check this out, but this makes me believe that we can actually create a lead based on specific activity outside of lifecycle stage, but then catch up the lifecycle stage or set the lifecycle stage to where we want it to be when a lead is created. I want to confirm this, but to my knowledge, this would mean that we can maybe go workflow trigger or create leads records based on certain activity. So for example, someone fills out,
Adam, we have the same brain,
specific set of forms, and you have a group of forms for demo content, hand raisers, all those forms, you'd say,
yo, I'm glad I heard someone else say hand raiser. Because that's like, I love the word hand raise, right? Like when you're, I mean, I don't know if he defines it differently, but I always think of like a hand raise as like, this person has like voluntarily said, yes, I'd like to talk to someone, not just like, oh, give me a piece of content, right? And like, there's always like multiple instances of people wanting to like raise their hand at different later stages of the marketing and sales funnel. Hey, yo, Matt, have a good one, buddy. Good to see you at Inbound too, man.
Hey, I want to create a lead for that. You may say, hey, I want to create a lead for anything even earlier than that, which is a contact download.
So I guess it's safe to say you can have multiple leads associated with the same contact, right? I would assume so.
usually content downloads, you may not want the team to reach out to you, but it depends where you're at. You may. So very interesting. And then require disqualification reason. This is really awesome because in the past, we've had to put disqualification reasons in the lead status because there's no way to make a dependency of HubSpot to create the disqualification reason or update the disqualification reason. So there's been lots of workarounds
to make another property
to make this work, which we don't need to go into here, but very interesting.
Yeah, dude, that's actually a really good reason, I guess, why there's these separate objects now, because like because, you know, someone inquired about something a while ago and you disqualified them. I mean, you know, you do that on like on a contact property. It's almost kind of like disqualifying them forever because like there's no other records of an instance of that happening where they might be disqualified for one product at one point that they looked into, but that doesn't like disqualify them from like other stuff, right? And you're kind of painting them with this broad brush when you have to do that with like a single property on a record.
On this to see how this works. Lead stages. So kind of your basic lead stages, which can be new, tempting, connected.
Oh, whoa.
Brand new. Hey, I gotta go work it. Kind of your basic lead
stages. So it's interesting that there's these categories. So there's these bigger categories, and then there's stages that go in these categories. And I'm wondering, I could only imagine that this has to do with like whatever automation or functionality is like tied into it, right? Because new, in progress, qualified, what is probably going to trigger that deal form to pop out, right?
Stages, which can be new, tempting, connected. So new, brand new. Hey, I gotta go work it. Attempting is I'm trying to get in contact with them.
So you're like, I guess this is like kind of, it's not, you can't do custom properties, but you can customize like the values of the existing stuff.
Get something booked. If I have a conversation with them or I'm going back and forth on email, I've now connected. Qualified is going to be qualified, and then unqualified is disqualified. So it looks like pretty good lead stages to me. So let's circle back and go back in here.
I wonder if lead objects have owners or if it just defaults to the contact owner because it's like a sub object of the contact, or if it even is.
And we'll keep this where we're creating it based on a lifecycle stage today, and we'll set the lifecycle stage when a lead is associated to lead as well, just to see what the functionality is. So now we're ready to start managing our leads. So let's get in and see what this looks like.
Yeah.
Great. So we now have our leads, and we have a section to show us the new leads, attempting, and connected. If I come in here, I can go again right back to the settings, or I can pull in leads. So I can change my requirements to pull in additional leads. But you'll also see here that I can add a lead. So I can come here and say, let me add a lead.
Oh. Adam.
Or I can
pull in leads. So it's almost kind of like import them and create them. And then there's
leads.
A plus button.
So I can change my requirements to pull in additional leads. But you'll also see here that I can add a lead. So I can come here and say, let me add a lead.
It's interesting. It has to be an existing record.
And
so you can't have leads that just kind of float in the ether, right? Kind of like how you can have a deal without any associations. What this looks like is like you're creating a sub object of either an existing contact or an existing company, right?
Let's just go and add a lead. So we add a lead as a company. So now you'll see a very nice change here, which is the ability to show just a lead being a company. It's a B2B world. I work in a B2B business. And so the company itself really serves as a lead to me, potentially. There may be multiple people at companies and you may want to change that, but it's a very cool concept that you can add. So now you'll see that the lead.
So did I hear that right? You can have a company as a lead.
You need to stitch your ads. And then at the company level, I don't have a contact added, but I can now pick a drop down and say, who is my lead at this company? So now I go ahead and I add that lead. So I can generate a lead based off of a company activity. And then I can select who the contact is that I want to be there. And you'll see it was giving me a little flag there. So really cool again. You can see everything in these areas. So let's.
Oh, that's where it's putting the. Oh, no. Oh, those are the stages that you customize. It's not doing the broader like categories.
See what that looks like. Actually, real quick, let's look at what this edit columns availability is. So now I can come in, I can edit these columns if I have labels.
Yeah, what's the label doing?
You can use the similar deal tagging process to add specific tags, like a hot lead may be consistent of someone that fills out a demo form. Okay, let's raise that to the top. Let's give it a hot tag.
That's why it needs the association to the object, because it's using like list filters and stuff like that in order to be able to do the tagging. That makes sense, because the lead doesn't fill out the form. The contact associated to the form fills the form out. Or no, contact associated to the lead fills the form out.
So again, more areas for automation. And then what you'll see here is your column options. And
that actually makes a ton of
sense.
sense.
So if you want to see how much associated deal pipeline stage they have.
Because it's so the idea of the lead is so dependent on attributes of the contact that the lead is representing.
You have associated deals, call counts, closed won deals amounts, the company name, created by, disqualification reason. So let's pull that in because I want to see what's happening there. Email count, HubSpot team, lead disqualification note. Let's check that out. And then you're going to have your name, owners, pipelines, sources, meeting counts. So pretty standard of the HubSpot properties. Outreach activity count, that seems like a new property that allows us to see the total number of outreach activities from the sales rep to the lead. So that's a new breakout because I want to know how many times I've taken shots. My team can take shots, but I want to know how many of those
just
there
counting,
are.
Is that that's just counting activities of a certain type associated directly to that lead object?
And how many we've taken, because we may have a cadence that is, let's take 10 shots before we give up. And so now I can start to see that and I can drive activity off of that. And then source lifecycle stage, that's going to go back to the primary associated contact. So we're still kind of really focused on the contact at lifecycle stage. Time to first touch. So all really cool kind of metrics here that you can start to update. So let's dig in real quick on just that disqualification reason, just to kind of double click on that and see what it does. So the label, current status of a given lead.
Okay. Those labels seem like they're pre-built in by HubSpot, because I didn't see him customize any of those when he turned this on. So I wonder if the labels are customizable or if it's just using, we'll see.
I can put hot, warm, and cold. I'm assuming we'll check this. Can I automate this? But really cool. I can put who I think is hot.
That sounds like it's already in there. Okay.
Who I think is cold, and then start to sort this. So I'm working on the ones that I believe are the most important. Disqualification reason. So let's see how this functions. If I go stage and I move somebody to attempted. So here's how the stage.
That's like a really nice. God, I wish they would build some of this, like this prospecting has such like a comfortable, unintimidating, feel good user interface. And there's like a lot of elements of this I wish they'd move into like the deal index pages, because the deal index pages are like very heavy and compact, and they're not colorful, and they're not like super fun to kind of work in. Like this style of these tables and all these cells that have all these like beautiful icons in them and everything, right? Which you really only see like with these like pseudo objects. Like I'm pretty sure you kind of see some stuff like this when you're looking at like subscriptions and payments, where it has like those indicator lights and stuff. They need more of this vibe into like the other object pages. It's because it's a beautiful piece of interface, right? But they don't use it enough. They only seem to use it on like the new stuff.
Pages work. So new is going to be when it gets set, when a new lead is created. Attempting, the lead will move to attempting when you log a call, send, or email.
Interesting.
This is a very big update.
The lead will move to attempting when you log any sort of activity. So it's telling you, I like the context that it's putting in there, right? So as soon as you do any sort of activity with them, it's moving to attempting.
Because now you don't need to.
And I wonder if that's a function of the. Did I just like skip ahead? I wonder if that's a function of which one of those subcategories that he put that stage in, right?
Update, because now you don't need to go ahead and automatically change this. If I send an email or I take that action, it's going to show as attempting. So this is very cool, because you used to have to build workflow automations around that.
That's
connected. Move the lead to connected. That's going to be a manual change because it can't tell when I'm actually getting kind of worked or.
Well, yeah, I guess it's like, how do you define connected, right?
Coming back. So you're going to move that. And then qualify.
Oh, but that's actually part of that same substage. So it's not like, so any of those like stages that you put in there besides, so it'll use like any sort of activity logged to move it into that first stage of that general category, right? It is what it sounds like. But then, yeah, there's no logic that's going to change the There's no logic that's going to change the stage by itself. So yeah.
You move it to lead qualified, and it's going to create a deal at the same time. So let's do a few examples and go from a qualified, and let's disqualify a company here.
Disqualify.
So let's qualify this company. It's going to prompt you to create a deal, which then you can have your properties that you.
So leads are little baby deals, little baby deals.
Want to have required to create
little tiny level 1 Pokemon deal objects that evolve into deals.
That deal. Very cool. Kind of all happening in this one spot where you say, all right, it's qualified, and it prompts you to create the deal. So super important to have these stages to kind of define with what means, what it means when it's where, and then you can kind of force that deal to get created out of the lead object. So liking that a lot. And then if we want to move to disqualified, now this is the really cool part. So
create an email task to follow up. That's cool.
Disqualification reason.
Yo, what if you could put them in a sequence? I guess you wouldn't want to put them in a sequence. That's a little bit aggressive if you just disqualified them.
You can set your disqualification reasons, which is a new property. This is a brand new property that is the pin.
Okay, you know what would be sick? Here's what would be sick. All right. If they had a button here that would allow you to manually enroll the contact in a workflow, right? So some disqualification nurture or something like that. Or if they gave you the ability to set any properties for the associated contact or the company when you're disqualifying them. Because maybe I want to mark something on the contact record. Maybe that puts it into a workflow, right? Or just from like reporting purposes, I want to flag that contact somehow for something, right? Maybe, maybe they indicated some product interest for something else that was outside the scope of this lead or something like that. I don't know. A boy can dream.
On using this lead object. So you can force disqualification reasons. It'll move it to disqualified at the lead status level. So you can get that out of your views and you're not looking at open leads. And then the disqualification reason is something that you can update and get your own reasons in there for a business, which is going to be a great improvement when we think about what leads are coming in, when is a lead being created, and why did they get closed. So as we think about kind of monthly analysis of leads or quarterly or annual, like now this disqualification reason is about to get forced. So love that. Again, you'll be able to customize these, but some good examples of what we'd have in there. And so let's just.
I wonder what this means for like those like life cycle stage funnel reports. Right? Because like you used to look at that and go, oh, tell me how many leads we got. When it's like, no, that's how many people that have that as a property. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about.
Say it's a budget constraint.
Like you might look at some reporting a little bit differently now, knowing that you have this like other little sort of pseudo object to play around with.
Right. And it's going to prompt you to create a task. So budget constraint, I had a good conversation. I can see they were a good fit customer. I'm going to close that lead and I'm going to say in 6 months, I want to come back and discuss the 2024 budget opportunities. And so then I'm going to disqualify that lead. Now that lead is disqualified and I should no longer be kind of working that lead. But I know I have a task created that will be helpful for the future so that it's going to be helpful in the future so that we can circle back and not lose track of leads that we think had a good opportunity.
Sick. Everybody go follow Process Pro or go subscribe on YouTube. Okay, so let's go take a swing at this and then maybe we'll look at it a little bit deeper on like another episode. But where do I even get started with this? I think I have to go to my sales, prospecting, leads. We're setting up leads. Oh my God, one lead should be ready in just a moment. What? What does this even mean? Oh, my Dave dipshit lead. So I set this up already and I just didn't realize it yet. Okay, let's pop this label. Yep. So these labels are single select drop downs. Man, it'd be cool if I could click here to associate the contact to a company. So you can schedule that. Oh, dude, yo, this is sick. Put this on the deal index page, guys. You can literally just create a to-do list task right here. Come on, man. That's sick. Okay. What do I follow up with leads? So it shows the leads on this side. This is kind of like a call queue is what it kind of reminds me of. right? And then I can see all my leads through here. Where do I like, okay, so I can add a lead. I can choose a contact, Billy Budgets, add a lead. Now, here's the question. If I go add another lead for Billy Budgets, what does it do? It just stacks it. Okay. Now, if I go to Billy Budgets contact record, no. Okay. So I'm here. Oh, look at that. It shows the leads up here, but it just has their names. Like, well, which I guess if you make it manually. So what, is it not let you name the lead when you make it manually? That's kind of two boot goofing in my Diamondback snakeskin. New boot goof. Add lead. Billy Budgets. Add lead. Yo, oh, you gotta let me name it. You know what I mean? You gotta let me name these leads and have a lead name. Because what if it's like he had a hand raise for one product, then he had a hand raise for a different product, right? It's just like, how, like, if you can't rename this, how is it any different than a contact record? Because you don't have anything that's like, you don't have anything to identify an instance of a different type of lead that Billy converts on here, right? So I wonder, did it, Adam said workflows, right? So, lead-based workflows. Start a workflow that triggers based on leads. So that's in there. But if I do a contact-based workflow, can I create a lead? Delay, go to workflow, custom code, branch, send an email, assignment, blah, blah, create a record. There's no create lead unless, oh, it is. And this is where you can, wait. Okay, so you can. Lauren, if you're watching again, you can do it. So lead label, so you can give it a label here. I'm assuming these aren't customizable yet. Lead pipeline stage. So these are the lead stages that you set, right? And then add more properties. Let's set another one. What does it let us do? That's a little weird. It's like, let me give it a name. You know what I mean? Like, maybe be able to add in like a product name or a, demo request versus consultation request or like something like that. You know what I mean? Because again, the reason you would have, excuse me, the reason you would have multiple instances of this is because those instances are different and they have unique properties about them, right? So like giving it just being able to give it a unique name just seems kind of like, I don't know, table stakes for me, right? But all right. Well, at least you could build them through workflows. That's kind of cool. And then, so what's the context in why you'd be building a lead-based workflow then? Right? So if I go and create a workflow from scratch, we could do lead-based, which looks cool. So you can either do, regular trigger, or you could do a schedule one, Operations Hub Pro, obviously. So what sort of triggers would you set up when an event occurs? Trigger when one of these event occurs. So it gets created, a property changes on the lead. So maybe you could say if the lead changes to hot, the tag is hot, right? Maybe do something because of that. And then if they're enrolled or unenrolled. So like kind of minimal triggers here, but I guess like what else would you even need? You know what I mean? And then what sort of actions do you even have? Okay, like pretty much almost all of them. Oh, you can send an email to the lead. I'm assuming that's going to, well, what does that do if it's a lead associated to a company though? That's Interesting. Does it say anything? This email is sent to all contacts associated with the enrolled leads. So I would assume that's all contacts if a company's associated to it. They don't really put like a disclaimer here on like if it's a company associated lead object, how does it determine who it sends the emails to? Okay. So I could see this being like kind of dangerous then if it sends to just all contacts on a company record, right? You could use some clarity on that. What else we got? Yeah, all the other stuff, right? You get a new lead, get an in-app notification. Can you do a Slack? No Slack? Come on, guy. Well, I guess you can just do that through anything else. All right, so that's interesting. So it has workflows. You can create it from a contact. You can create it from a contact workflow, but you can't change the name. It's just going to take the name of whichever contact or company object that it's associated to. Wish that was better. But I do love this. I wish Deals had these little stage thingies, right? Again, all the new tools getting all the love. But to be fair, a lot of this stuff, they're also building with all these fancy new UI tools that, developers have access to. So, I'm sure we'll get a refresh of the Deals template or the Deals card at some point. So anyway, okay, so that's kind of interesting. So you confirmed you could have multiple leads for a single contact or a company. It doesn't look like you can change can we go into the settings and go take a look at this? Objects, leads. So it doesn't let us do custom labels. It's just their temperature. And then, oh, this is nice. You can require that a deal's created. So you're not going to get anyone getting qualified that's not going to get a deal created. And then you can add these different stages. All right. Okay. Go off, leads. Yeah. I guess like my feedback there would just be like, listen, like if I'm going to have multiple leads associated with contact, you got to give me like a quick way to differentiate them. And the easiest way you could be doing that is just like having a way to name the lead, right? Like you could totally make it so like when someone creates a new lead manually that like it autofills it with the name of the lead, but then just do like new lead and then automatically drop the date in or something like that, right? And if it's a workflow, like let us come up with our own naming convention to name it, right? Because it would be helpful to know like the context and why that lead was created, just like at a glance, right? So demo request lead, content request lead, like any sort of, give me some more context on the lead itself. It's almost just like a duplicate contact record at this point, right? Not literally, but like, you could hold these fields in lead stage and like the lead stage property, right? And I don't know, you gotta have something that separates the different instances of those lead objects. But anyway, all good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for taking some time to hang out today. For any of those that are still left in the chat here, Matt, Ryan, team, everyone else that joined me here, Lauren, special shout out to Lauren from Coastal Consulting. Hapily partner. We love working with you, Lauren. Thank you for coming in and give us your insight on this leads tool. Guys, here's the deal. I'm going to try to do this show. I'm going to keep it consistent, keep doing like a weekly thing. I want to find out like what the best time is to do this show. So if you guys have any feedback on like, when do you typically have time during the week to listen to me yammer on about HubSpot, or maybe have someone else come in and have a conversation for like, up to 2 hours, whatever it may be. What are good times do you think we should hold the show just so we can get the maximum amount of eyeballs on it possible? But for those of you who did tune in, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. And we'll see you next week for another Hapily Hour. And hope you all had a good inbound and you're adjusting back to normal life as best we can. Cool. Music came in a little hot there, but that's totally fine. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you.